What up? What up? What it do? What it do? Happy Tuesday night to you and yours here on the AAT Sports Network. It is the Sports Wheelhouse. I am Chip at Chip for the Birds and Umpire Stories, as always, joined by my partner in crime, JD at D2N Pods and Kegheads _TM. What is going on, JD? Hold on. The thing I was waiting for in the green room might happen. Bam! Phillies are going to the postseason. Sorry. Hey, what's going on, everybody? How are we doing?
Phillies are in the playoffs.
Phillies just walked it off, clinched a home playoff situation. And
Red October.
The hunt for Red October is back. You guys, we are dancing on our own.
Red October.
I'm in the corner watching you. Sorry. What's going on, buddy?
Red October.
That's some Sean Connery stuff right there.
I still believe.
That's not the song.
No, I'm saying I still believe. As like in Dion. I still believe.
Oh, so you already jumping right to the wheel. Listen, Adam, you and I already had this conversation. We may have to do some Phillies shows as the playoffs begin. Playoffs. So here we go. We got a show to do. We got a variety of topics, not as much baseball, even though that's how we kind of kicked off our show. We got a ton of football to discuss, both college and professional. So should we jump into it? I think we should jump into it.
Let's do it, man. I'm always game. I haven't
seen
a whole lot of these.
Here is Das Wheel. We spinning. Chip
gave me like 15 seconds to look at the wheel before we started. So. Oh, this is my wheelhouse right here.
This is right in your sports wheelhouse.
No pun intended.
Pun intended. All right, so we had quite a crazy week of college football. Yep. Nothing more crazy, of course, than a game that shouldn't have been a surprise to anybody. Right? It shouldn't have been a surprise. So Oregon and Colorado, here we are spending yet another week talking about Deion Sanders and all things Colorado. But JD, your thoughts on a game where Colorado was 21-point underdogs and got straight up mollywopped?
I mean, I just think I think we believe, and I think we love the underdog story. That's why a lot of people love the Eagles, and when the Eagles are on these like crazy campaigns when they're the underdog, like America loves an underdog. America loves a guy that's gonna go out and do more than what they're slotted to do and I'll kick their coverage. So we love that type of guy. Deion is a guy who's pretty much self-made. Like he's, basically from the trenches. Now he's a millionaire and everything he seems to touch turns to gold. And I think we were just kind of in the first 2 weeks, everything turned to gold. Like, so we kind of were assuming that was going to be the same thing going into Oregon. Oregon had other plans and they were tired of the Cinderella story and wasn't going to let it be on their watch. But I will tell you this, I would not overlook that USC game because they might come back with a vengeance. I can only imagine that Deion's going to have those boys drinking that Kool-Aid again.
So now here's my question, because again, they were 21-point underdogs, right? It was drastic.
Right.
And Oregon comes out and they've got all of their blackboard material and, we're here for the clicks, not for the whatever. And we're here for the this and not for whatever. We're here for the Hollywood, not for, he does the whole thing. And then at halftime up 35-0, we're not done yet. We're not done. Like at some point, okay, I get it. And I know that Deion doesn't make a big deal of it because, he's like, hey, we got our tails kicked in. That's not going to happen again. Like, good on him. But at some point was like, Oregon doing just like a little too much. Like I know like with the BCS and, all that, you kind of have to put up a dominating performance. But it was very clear that without their best player, Colorado had no shot. So at some point, you're just kind of beating up on them. And Colorado kept their starters in for the entire game, if I'm not correct, or up until late in the fourth quarter.
I mean, at some point, though, like you said, they were kind of asking for. They had been in a lot of controversy already, talking a lot, so like a lot of when you play like that, a lot of people want to beat you. Of course, like you got a lot of guys that are trying to take you out once you start having that moniker, and then the whole this situation with the wristwatch and it's just a whole lot of like it's real flashy, and that's what Oregon exposed, the flash. Like if you're gonna be flashy, we're just gonna hit you in the mouth and keep hitting you in the mouth because we're bigger, better, faster, stronger than you. And I'm also not opposed to Deion's fight after the game. Like Deion said, hey, we got our butts kicked. Like they beat us on all different levels. And because they beat us on all different levels, they could decide to do whatever to us. And
right.
But you better get us this year because we're coming.
So Adam is chiming in and saying, look, Colorado is an average team that has beat bad teams so far. Your thoughts? I mean, the Colorado State game we talked about in great detail last week. I think that they beat a team that they probably should have beaten by a lot more, but we know that game was kind of out of control a little bit. First game, they were overlooked. I mean, they were 100% overlooked. So what is the more accurate version of this team? Are they a average team that's beat bad teams, or are they a good team that got crushed by a better team?
They're a good team that got crushed by a better team. Because there's one thing that most of these other schools don't have that they have, and it's great coaching. Like they were just outplayed. Like they just literally didn't have the guys in those positions. Like their offense and defensive lines give up 230 pounds of just body mass because they got a smaller offense and defensive line. They have been there. They've had Sanders has been sacked 50 times this year. He's been hit 50 times. They make contact.
He's been hit a ton.
And so, like, if you take into consideration, like that he's been hit a whole lot, and they don't have the best offensive line. So what they're doing is actually kind of miraculous, but that they're even in games when they are in games because they don't have the offense and defensive line. So, and this all started because the guy that worked at ESPN made the comment that they had the worst roster in FCS or in college football history, and so that was just been fuel, and they're going to find more fuel. Trust me. Like after all these different memes that people have made about them in the last couple, they're going to have plenty of clickbait and plenty of bulletin board material, and you just got to hope that at some point they can start to bridge the gap and they get their star player back. But he was the best player on both sides of the ball in that first game. So,
well, I like that he said. Like he called them flat out and was like, "Yeah, no, I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna be back." I'm like, "You had a ruptured, what was it? A lacerated
kidney or whatever."
Like, come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. All right, so wait. Since we're talking college football, I think we got to talk about another college football situation. JD, are you ready to discuss this game? Because you and I were talking about it while it was happening.
The Florida State Clemson.
Are you ready to talk about the Florida State Clemson game?
I've already went through all three stages of anger and grief.
Okay. So are you in acceptance yet?
I've been in acceptance since the day since they rolled the ball out. All right. So as a Clemson fan, I'll tell you this. I never feel comfortable with the league under this new regime with Dabo Swinney.
Sure.
These guys will give up anything to anybody at any given time. Like they don't have any continuity. They're arguing. You got CJ Spiller over there arguing with Will Shipley in the middle of the game. So like we have no real chemistry going on. Florida State, we could have beat them. Like we played good enough to beat that team, but down the line there were some stupid plays that were called that really costed us the game. I'll respect the Florida State though. For the Florida State fans who are out here, respect to you guys. You guys went out and improved it. Y'all took it from us. And that pretty much ended our season. As far as like,
I think you don't have big enough games on the rest of the way.
We do got some big games. We still got Notre Dame coming up, and we still got.
But that's a bad loss.
No, it's not a bad loss. It's a good because you lost in overtime. So the first loss was a bad loss. That one, the Duke, was a bad loss.
We're not there yet.
We're
not there to talk about Travis and Taylor yet.
I can't wait to talk about that. I'm not a Swiftie. I'm a Kelsey. So
we're gonna talk about it. Don't you worry. And then probably the game I was looking forward to the most was probably one of the worst games of the weekend.
Which one?
The Ohio State Notre Dame game.
That was trash.
That was an awful football game that somebody had to win. So now here's my question, right? We always talk about how Notre Dame doesn't come from a conference and they kind of make their own schedule and they win some games and then they're ranked and then they start to lose games. With the way that Penn State dismantled Iowa, who was a ranked team, who was a good football team, should Penn State be ranked higher than Ohio State right now?
In my opinion, all the rankings don't even matter right now.
True.
So, but because of that, that's part of that eye test that they'll do. So They'll line them up. They'll line Penn State up with Michigan and Michigan up with Ohio State and Ohio State up with Michigan, all three of them. And they'll start picking in at that, at that conference. And what they'll do is because all those teams will play each other at some point, it'll work itself out.
Yeah, there'll only be one team left that's worth anything.
But I do believe this, and I'm not sure I'm there to go there where Adam Mack is going with the Penn State as a top 3 team.
Mm-hmm.
But I will definitely say they are better than they've been in the last couple of years when they've missed out.
Why? Because they have an actual quarterback.
Yeah, they have
Drew Allar is an actual quarterback.
They went out and they put the time into getting a quarterback. That's a quarterback, not a guy that can not a guy that plays quarterback, but
not a Trace McSorley type guy who, again, he won games. And in college football, like that's what really matters. Like you saw it with Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow was not a good quarterback. He was a winning quarterback. Trace McSorley was a winning quarterback. But again, Drew Allar is an actual quarterback, and that matters too.
Yep, and especially when it gets later in the year where you having to play in these frigid conditions that we know Penn State, Ohio State, and Michigan are going to have to play in. That's what makes them hard to beat in the playoffs because these teams have the pedigree to play anywhere and anytime. And also a part of it is how they beat each other up because you're playing in those cold, frigid, conditions, getting hit, taking hits, So I have a lot of respect for Penn State, Ohio State, and Michigan. It's going to be a real barn burner to find out who's going to be who and who wins the Big Ten. Is that Big Ten?
Yeah.
The Big Ten. So, I'm looking forward to it. Football for me has ended as far as like my hopes of going to the playoffs, but it's going to be fun to see how they get it. And it'll be even funner for next year when they put in 16 teams, I think is what it's going to be.
Yeah.
So it's going to be super fun.
Any game, I'm looking at the top 25 games this week. Any games that are jumping out to you? I mean,
is Alabama playing anybody?
Alabama is playing Mississippi State.
Any other top 25 games this week? I think this is
Utah's got Oregon State, so that's 10-19. Penn State's got Northwestern. USC's got Colorado. What's that?
Oregon State's number 10?
Northwestern's not ranked.
No, Oregon State.
Oh, sorry. Oregon State's 19, Utah's 10.
That's a sneaky good game. And I'll tell you
that's a Friday night game.
Friday getting right. And look for the Utes to drop one.
This is the one.
That's the one because they're playing against DJ. And he's, everybody's back on the DJ bus again. So, you got
USC, Colorado Saturday at noon. That's going to be another slapdown. Colorado is now unranked again. Georgia, Auburn is always a good game.
Georgia, Auburn won't be shit. Georgia going to rump roast.
They should. Nebraska, Michigan, nobody cares about.
No.
Oregon, Stanford, no one cares about. South Carolina, Tennessee, no one cares about.
That is going to be a good one. That's a sneaky good game, though.
That's going to be a good one?
Sneaky good game because down here, that's a big, huge rivalry.
Rivalry, but not a quality game is my point.
No, anytime it's a rivalry game, you can throw those records right up out of there. Just like the Colorado State. Like, no one would care about that normally, but because it's a rivalry game.
I can't believe I still stayed up to watch that whole game.
Listen, it was worth it. It was worth it. And you weren't mad about it because it was a rivalry game.
Such a good game. And the only other big ranked game like between two teams is Notre Dame and Duke. How the hell is Duke a ranked team?
They beat Clemson, and
I know, but Clemson's not a good team.
Oh, watch your mouth. We're not a bad team,
sir.
We could have beat Florida State.
You just spent the first 5 minutes talking about how your season's done. How you gonna say that Clemson's a good team with Dabo Swinney?
No, I'm saying like Clemson is not a bad team. They just got some stuff they need to work on. They got some stuff they really need to work on. They really need to work on
like winning games.
Well, the winning games is part of it, but I think it's just like you gotta remember there's been a lot of churn at Clemson. They've lost every single coordinator they've had for the last 4 years. They're basically going through the same troubles as Alabama right now. Like there's no continuity because everybody keeps getting scooped up by different teams to go be head coaches. So look at what Brent Venables was at Oklahoma, was at Clemson. I was at Oklahoma. They're kicking ass, and that was our defense coordinator. And so on and so forth. So listen, it is what it is. We're good. We're a decent team. We're not a good team. We're a decent though.
Okay.
Get off my guys.
Okay.
I'm trying to talk myself into it.
Okay. Oh, one of my favorite games to play. Should they be Hall of Famers? All right. I have two for you tonight. And honestly, we've been doing this for so much now, I truly don't remember if I have done either of these two players.
Okay.
So I got one football, one basketball.
Can we just go? Because we might have done the basketball. Let's just do a football one tonight.
No, I got them both. They're on my sheet and everything.
All right, dude. I'm leaving it to you.
I mean, I probably messed it up. I'll be honest. All right, so here's my football one. Should this player be a Hall of Famer? I'm going to give you some stats. I'm going to give you some things, and you tell me if this guy's worth being in the Hall of Fame, because there's some conversation about it. All right, so this player, I guess he hasn't officially retired. That might be the giveaway right there. Has a 11-year career. No Super Bowls. He won an MVP. He's a 3-time Pro Bowler. He's a 1-time All-Pro. He's an Offensive Player of the Year. He's a Rookie of the Year. What's that?
Is it Russ Bus?
It is not Russ Bus.
Is it NFL? It's
NFL.
NFL. Right?
It's NFL. 148 games, 32,000 yards, 194 touchdowns, 123 interceptions. Is this player 59.9% completion percentage?
It's got to be Cam Newton.
It is Cam Newton. Is Cam Newton a Hall of Famer?
Yeah.
Ooh. Explain yourself, sir. I'm
Well,
not talking college football Hall of Famer.
No. Like, you got to remember his first couple years in the Panthers, they made it to the Super Bowl.
I know.
They made it to the Super Bowl. He was the man. He's been an MVP before. So I mean, he's definitely got the accolades. I wouldn't take anything after this Panther years for real. Like, because at that point, he had the soldier surgery. He got kind of shipped around a couple places. So I wouldn't go with that. But I would say that in his years with the Panthers, he was known. Like, if you do that, you know who we're talking about. Like, and he made such an impact on the game. And especially because I lived I'm from Carolina. So,
right.
I had to hear that junk all the time. Cam Newton. And he was a force to be reckoned with. So, listen,
I think
he's a Hall of Famer.
It's tough because I think without the Super Bowl ring, it really holds him back.
No, because you made MVP.
I get that, but like, you're also going to, is Donovan McNabb a Hall of Famer?
I believe so.
Okay, so that's going to be a conversation for a later day. But if you're judging it based on Super Bowls
No, I'm not. What you can't do, you can't put a Hall of Famer in there just for Super Bowls, but you can't disqualify a guy for not getting Super Bowl when he has other accolades, because he has the MVP. So like MVP, like Hall of Fame is an individual award.
True.
So it shouldn't be based on what you did as a team. Like, he did make the Super Bowl. Yes, he did. He proved that he can lead a team. He just didn't have enough to beat that team in the Super Bowl. And he was also an MVP. And he was one of the best quarterbacks around for a long time, and especially for fantasy. he was a walking 40-pointer.
No kidding.
So I mean, so you can't and he didn't really have a whole lot of weapons. He had Steve Smith for a couple years, and then after that he had, I don't even know, DJ Moore maybe, like, depending on who you ask.
I mean, he had Steve Smith, he had DJ Moore. I mean, he had a couple guys, but he had Greg Olsen at the tight end.
Yeah, but that's all he had, and that's why Greg Olsen is a Hall of Famer, because of Cam Newton. If Greg Olsen doesn't have Cam Newton, he's not a Hall of Famer. So this is my opinion.
Okay. Second one, again, I'm not sure if we've done or not, but I feel like we may have. It's basketball. It is the following. Okay. You tell me if you think that this player has qualified for the Hall of Fame. 16 NBA seasons. Okay.
That's a lot.
9.8 points per game, 7.9 assists per game. He's a 4-time All-Star, 4-time All-Defense, 2-time NBA champion.
I say put him in. Yes.
Yeah, name for me.
Set 4-time All-Star,
Mm-hmm.
2-time MVP.
No. 2-time NBA champion.
2-time NBA champion. And he averaged 19 points a game.
9
points a game.
7 assists, 9 points per game.
Is it Rajon Rondo?
Of course it's Rajon Rondo. Did we do Rajon already?
No, I just guessed it.
He was the one I thought about.
Oh, yeah, we didn't have Rondo. And see, everybody guessed Rondo.
And he's the only player in NBA history to win a title with both the Celtics and the Lakers.
That's remarkable. The most winningest franchises, he's got a championship.
They literally just did an entire HBO show about them.
That's dope. Winning time, baby.
That was really good, by the way. I didn't realize that they were going to stop making it, by the way.
Oh, they took it off the air, so this last season was the last season?
Yeah, they did the whole, like, ending roll credits thing. So again, Rajon Rondo is a Hall of Famer.
Yes, of course. Yes. I told you it was not even close.
All right, fine. Dang. Great job. Way to play our game. Okay. Oh boy. My, oh my. The New York Jets are a dumpster fire.
The Jets are, or the Giants are?
The Jets. The Giants we knew were going to be bad. Contrary to what a lot of people believed, we knew the Giants were going to be bad.
Yeah, but
with that being said, I'm talking about the Jets.
Vinny and the Jets.
The Jets are atrocious. And considering the people, so again, they had a Super Bowl caliber defense, in my opinion. In my opinion. When they added Aaron Rodgers, they had a Super Bowl caliber quarterback to go along with a player like Garrett Wilson, to go along with a Dalvin Cook, who apparently has exactly zero tread left on the tires. Zach Wilson is ranked 34th out of starting quarterbacks. There are 32 teams. He could not hit literally anybody with a ball. The team has gone so drastically downhill. He is known now, once again, for his interceptions. We knew he wasn't a good quarterback last year. That's why they went out and got Aaron Rodgers. He was supposed to sit on the bench for a year and learn how to play this game. They've come out and said, nah, he's still our guy. Why? Joe Namath has come out and said, he's not worth it.
Okay. I will tell you this. I trust you with the Zach Wilson thing. But Zach Wilson is also a 2-year player, and you gave up on him last year before the season was even over. So it ties back to what we have discussed on this show, which is quarterbacks are overvalued in the NFL. You know, it's the same thing. Quarterbacks are overvalued in the NFL draft. I apologize. Quarterbacks are overvalued in the NFL draft. We saw that with Malik Willis. We've seen that with Zach Wilson. We've seen that with quarterback after quarterback after quarterback. Zach Wilson was overly drafted. We know this. And now they're going, well, you know what? Matt Ryan has asked if he can play quarterback. And the Jets say good day. Carson Wentz has asked, can we play quarterback? And I say good day. My favorite one, and this is breaking-ish news. There is a letter sent from a certain player. Did you hear about the letter? Is it from Colin Kaepernick?
Colin Kaepernick wrote a letter to the New York Jets. His buddy, J. Cole, released the letter to the public.
That boy, J. Cole.
Sent it to Joe Douglas. Joe, I hope this letter finds you in good spirits, despite the less than ideal start to a big season. I'm wishing you, your staff, and the players a great game this weekend as you look to bounce back. Again, this is from Colin Kaepernick. I'm ready, of course, in response to the unfortunate loss of Aaron Rodgers. I know the aspirations this season were and still are to win a championship, blah, 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 blah. Zach Wilson is charged with the task, and I wish him and the rest of the team the best luck moving forward, blah, blah, blah. However, I know there are currently depth issues at the position. That's not true. They signed Trevor Siemian today. Mm-hmm. And I've heard that the backup spot is likely to be followed by a veteran quarterback. As much as I would love the opportunity to fill that spot, I'm writing you in hopes that you can imagine as much different approach involving me. Have you heard all this? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I would be honored and extremely grateful for the opportunity to come in and lead the practice squad.
Bro, that's love.
I would do this with the sole mission of getting your defense ready each week. If I were able to fill this role for the team, I believe this allows for multiple things. One, it gives your defense the advantage of getting a truer read on the more mobile, athletic, versatile quarterbacks we'll face in weeks 4, 5, and 6. Mahomes, Wilson, and Hurts. I would consider it a privilege and take it with a dedication and passion as if it were the QB1 position. It's also allowed guys in an organization to take a real look at where I'm at football-wise in game situations against an elite defense while also not putting any competitive pressure on Zach. In a perfect world for the Jets, Zach Wilson finds his stride and shows that he's able to lead this championship caliber team. I believe a confident Zach Wilson can do this. However, in the event that it's not the case, I would love to give you a risk-free contingency plan. I'm sure of my ability. If, God forbid, quarterback goes down, there may be natural uncertainties, plan, blah, blah, blah. Worst case scenario, see what I have to offer and you're not that impressed. Best case, you realize you have a real weapon at your disposal in the event you ever need it. In either of those scenarios, I would be committed to getting your defense ready, blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. I've been training for 6 years, blah, blah, blah. Here are my references. Jim Harbaugh, Chip Kelly, John Harbaugh, Mark Davis. I think this would be a great idea. Why do you look so flabbergasted, JD?
Cut the tape right now. Cut it right now. Let's just get in the show right now. Because
before I say something stupid,
they're gonna say something crazy and mess it up. But I will tell you that is big. But because he came in big, he came in on some real stuff. You haven't played in 6 years, like you said. It's been 6 years since he touched the NFL field, and for you to come out and say, "Hey, listen, like I just want another opportunity." Maybe it's too late for me, but I just want to get in front of coaches, get back into a system, and then if I get an opportunity, I'll show what I got. But that is a completely different scope than what he was coming in on a couple years ago, which I think that was the biggest issue for you. Like he wanted to be a starting quarterback, and
that was my big issue. My big issue involving the Colin Kaepernick stuff has always been him expecting to just walk back onto a field as QB1. The humility is big. Him being humble is big. If he is capable of earning a spot back on, why the hell not? If he's still in the shape that he says he is, if he's been training for hours every day for the last 6 years like you say he is, there is no issue in my mind of him joining as a practice squad. Because here's the thing. The Jets can't get any worse.
No.
The Jets cannot get even a little bit worse. They look atrocious.
They're pretty bad.
They look atrocious. They are fighting on the sidelines, players and coaches. Did you see Michael Carter and his running backs coach?
Yeah, it's really bad.
It's really bad. And for a team that was the center of Hard Knocks and all these things, they're a really bad football team right now.
They're supposed to be. When you're on Hard Knocks, it's supposed to be a really bad team. So
not necessarily, though.
What good team has been on the Hard Knocks?
I cannot answer that, but I do know that the Jets, apparently it's a curse. It's the new Madden curse.
It's Vinny and the Jets. And in other news, like, you know who wasn't fighting on the sideline but should have been was the Broncos. They got mollywopped.
Remember, there's individual tasks. There's individual things we got to talk about. Right. Hold yourself. Relax yourself, sir. But again, I think that, Zach Wilson is just not the answer. He's not. He's undersized. He can't make the read. He can't make the throws. And it's just going to get progressively worse from here. Somebody like Garrett Wilson is going to walk because of this. First opportunity he can. So that's all I got to say about the goddamn New York Jets, as the wife pointed out. Okay, quick hits. I love this segment.
Let T come in on this segment. That's when she needs to come in on this segment.
Well, one of the topics of quick hits tonight is that. So I'm going to talk about just a couple of things real quick. Number one. First thing I've seen more and more this year that is very upsetting to me is the tackle roll-ups.
Yeah.
And it's in college, it is in pro, where they are making tackles on guys and rolling their ankles up and around. Your thoughts?
It's a dirty little play.
It's a dirty play.
It's a dirty play. They've done it a lot. They've done it a lot, especially, and it's even coming to the high school level here.
Really?
So like it's coming there. Like a couple guys have gotten a lot of turned ankles because of it. One kid broke an ankle because of it. So they're looking out for it. It's a personal foul in South Carolina right now. So if you roll over on some guy's ankle and they catch it, they're definitely they'll throw you out for it. It's almost like a form of targeting almost here.
Well, and that's gonna be my question. Which is worse, the headshot or the ankle roll?
I'll say the ankle roll because you can really break a guy's ankle.
Yeah.
Because it's more like easy to do. Like a targeting, you really gotta go after a guy's head. And you might not always get it. But an ankle roll, you can do it on any given shoestring tackle or anything. Rolling over on a guy, twisting that ankle on purpose. Like I've seen guys get in the scrum, getting punched in the face, like poked in the eyes, spit on, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of rough down there.
Right. Quick hit number 2, and it's honestly my last quick hit because we got to talk about it. There is a new wave of football fans entering the NFL arena.
Mm-hmm.
And it is Swifties.
Love them.
Ladies and gentlemen, Travis Kelce and his tight end are now going after Taylor Swift and her tight end. Does she have a tight end? I don't even know. She looks like a giraffe, as my wife always says when she dances. That's how she dances, according
Why
to my
can't
wife.
we get T on the show right here? Like,
Listen, I am right here. She could easily pop on.
I'm not gonna.
She doesn't want to.
This is her segment. This is her time to shine.
Listen, this is her segment and her time to shine. I agree. But again, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce confirmed. Now, I have a slight issue with this in the fact of she's an Eagles fan. And she is now rooting for the team
That beat you guys in the playoffs.
that beat us in the Super Bowl.
Incorrect. Incorrect.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. It will be so. There's a correlation between the there's never gonna be able to be shaken between the Chiefs and the Eagles, and it's not necessarily they're forever linked because of the Kelce brothers. So
Sure.
there's no way you cannot pull for Travis Kelce and pull for Jason Kelce. Like you have to pull for them both. They're brothers. You have to pull for both of them.
Listen, I watched the Kelce documentary. I was like crying. It was beautiful.
Dude, I'm just gonna be honest about this. The part that got me low key was when he was getting kicked off the team in Cincinnati,
Mm-hmm.
and his bro really got into him. Like I love the Kelce brothers, and I feel the same way about my little brother. You know, me and my brother do podcasts together and stuff like that. So I very much feel what they're doing. I like it all the way.
I'm trying, CJ. I'm trying to shake it off. But you know what? Look what you made me do.
Oh, another reference. And if anybody's the real winner tonight, it is.
Guys, it's about to be pretty in here.
No, I'm not. Hi.
I've been waiting.
I'm not camera prepared right now. I just have to pop in.
Just
This is so exciting. And also,
shake it off. Shake it off.
hold on. Also, she's not rooting for the team. She's rooting for him.
Try and get the girls on the show.
She's rooting for him specifically. She's not wearing number 87. That's legit girlfriend stuff. And later on, number
Listen,
one.
they just started dating.
Number
If I'm not
two.
mistaken.
They couldn't even hold hands leaving the arena.
No, it was it.
No, but this is like she's tall, he's taller. This works. Like I'm all in for this. And I just want you guys to know that means that ticket sales for everything else are going to go up so much higher. This is beneficial. This is economical growth.
Do you know
Is
that
what
Travis
this
Kelce
is.
jerseys went up 400%?
Yes, of course I do.
Why
Do
not?
you? Come on.
Listen, are you a Swiftie? That's the first question.
Here's the thing. No, here's the thing. I respect her very much. I have become one over time. And
I didn't ask when you became one. I just asked, are you a Swiftie?
I guess so, but I also am a Kelce fan.
It didn't
all
happen
the
swiftly.
way.
Are
I'm a
are you a
Kelce fan through and through.
Are you a
But I'm
Swiftie?
an Eagles
Yes or
fan
no?
first. And yeah, and she's an Eagles fan as well. Come on.
She is an Eagles fan. I will give you that because she's a Kelce soon to be. And so,
I want this to happen so badly.
You know who else wants it to happen is Bill Belichick. Did you see his comment?
yes, I heard about that.
On the Greg Hill show,
It's the
Bill
best catch you ever
Belichick
had.
asked on Travis Kelce catching a touchdown with Taylor Swift in attendance. Bill Belichick, who apparently is funny, says, I would say Travis Kelce has had a lot of big catches in his career.
DJ's really
Should be
killing
the
us right
biggest.
Yeah, except what about the guy that said something like he's catching sixes on and off the field? And like she's in the meantime.
Yo, CJ is rattling. Is CJ a secret Swiftie?
It is not a secret.
He must be. I think.
I'm glad she found her lover. It's been a cruel summer for Eagles fans.
Listen,
shake it off, shake it off.
That's,
You know,
no,
CJ's my guy.
No,
you know,
here's
CJ's
the
my
thing.
guy.
You're supposed to say that she's infiltrating the other team right now, and that's some vigilante shit.
He
And
said secret.
that,
He said
my
secret.
fear is a Taylor Swift lyric.
Listen, I'm not opposed to anything you guys are saying. So let me be first to say that I believe that the Kansas City Chiefs are in the same vein as the Eagles because of the Kelce connection. I've already said that.
Yeah.
You
But-
guys will forever be linked.
Here's the thing, though, about all of this. Like, on top of it, I think that this is like, people are like, oh, yeah, then Kansas City should go to the Super Bowl again. And I'm like, this is going to be Jason Kelce's last season. Just don't hurt him. Let us get there and let this man go out on top. We can talk about Taylor Swift next year. I'm more concerned with Jason Kelce.
I'm more concerned with the Eagles, Swift, and Kelce connection.
Did you see the thing that said that there was like there's Jason Kelsey, then there's Hurts, and then Swift was over there. And they were like, oh, look, here's the secret next thing. Like, Kelsey's going to hurt Swift. And I was like,
Listen, all I'm saying is if Kelsey messes this up, his life will be ruined because she's
his
going to make multiple songs.
His ex-girlfriend came out and she was like,
Black chick.
and she was
CJ,
like,
Jesus.
she was like, oh, he's a cheater, he's a player, he's this and he's that. Like,
He's a black chick.
Yeah, like ex-girlfriends do. Like,
Thanks.
let him have his piece. Just because he cheated on you doesn't mean he's going to cheat on her.
You can't cheat on Taylor Swift because there's nowhere you can go in the.
She will write a song and destroy you.
If you're
it's
really
not
bored,
even gonna matter.
if you're really bored, because I did this on Sunday night, go onto TikTok and go see the amateur Taylor Swift breakup songs of Travis Kelce. Priceless.
I just want to see a wedding because that will be so much better.
But
also, if they break up, the music's gonna be.
There's no crying in football, so you can't be out here crying. You know?
Listen, I beg to differ. There are grown men that cry on that field.
And she'll cry and put teardrops on her guitar.
Also, are you guys going to talk about Usher, or is that like not a thing?
Okay, we can do that for the quick hits as well because we're still in the quick hit section.
While we're talking music, can we talk about Usher and how honestly excited I am?
Oh, for the Super Bowl? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's just gonna give 15. He's gonna give 15 girls herpes before the thing starts. But other than that, it's gonna all be good.
I'm in all the way. I love him so much. I don't even care.
Somebody's getting herpes tonight. That's all I'm saying.
CJ, I got you. See, he caught it. I just snuck it in there first. Yeah, listen, I went ahead on Apple Music and listened to the Usher greatest hits today on my drive. And again, the dude used to bring fire. I don't know what his new music is.
He still brings fire, but
he's releasing a new album.
Yeah.
You hear about do you see a fire joke that I made? That he's bringing real life fire?
Right? With 21
Savage? Yeah, so 21 Savage. My 14-year-old just stood up.
14-year-old so excited. Yeah.
Did you guys just
great value Michael Jackson. Oh my God. CJ, you are on one tonight, sir.
Listen, sir, go to bed, sir. You are angry because of not getting.
Now they said Jackson Mahomes has to find how to get back in the news since Kelsey and Taylor Swift took over in Kansas City. Yeah.
Yeah, but then they're gonna put Britney in there.
Maybe one of them will start dating Britney. It's Britney in her stripper pole in her underwear.
No. Britney Mahomes.
Yes.
Britney Mahomes.
I don't care about Britney Mahomes. I care more about Britney Spears throwing knives behind her head.
That's my girl. I love her. I love this whole train wreck.
Listen, kids, this brings me to the next point. Don't smoke crack.
She should date a
crack is whack. Crack is whack. Crack is whack. Whitney Houston said that.
You're gonna Whitney that?
Listen, I'm on pop culture references tonight.
With her sweaty upper lip.
Oh my God.
You know what?
All right.
Here, she's gonna hate.
I love you. Okay.
She's gonna hate this joke. You know what Bobby Brown and Chris Brown have in common?
Candy is a candy girl. Is it something like
all
that?
the hits?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't feel good about that.
You shouldn't feel good about that.
That was dirty. I feel dirty. I need to go take a shower.
Yes, they have the right hooks in their song. Stop it, CJ. You're making me get in trouble.
You're already. This is not like new.
Listen, all I'm saying is anytime you want that booger sugar, they all were bound for it.
There's children listening, JD. Stop that.
They don't know. That's a candy girl reference. See, I got it. Okay, bye.
My 9-year-old heard boogers and got excited.
Like, what boogers where? Who's got them?
I'd pick one. All right, so that's quick hits. I feel like talk for a second, JD. Make sure my because I plugged back in.
Meow.
Meow.
I identify as a cat. So
it sounds like an issue, not an ish me. All right, we're gonna keep going.
It sounds like a me issue.
No, it's an issue, not an ish me.
Oh yeah.
Perfect segue. The Philadelphia Eagles are officially 3-0. Let's talk about this for a second.
They've never been 3-0 in years past.
Oh my God. Okay, so here's the thing. Yes, they have, and I'm pretty sure that
license and registration, meow.
Like I'm some kind of kitty cat. Meow.
You got to fingerprint this one.
So the Eagles are undefeated. They are currently ranked 4th in Pro Football Power Rankings, even though there's a team ahead of them and they have lost a game. So right now the Power Rankings have it Dolphins, 49ers, Chiefs, Eagles. The Eagles have not played anywhere near up to their potential. They're already battling injuries, which is something that hasn't happened. Jalen Hurts has not looked at the same level, but again, he's getting wins. And everything else is going to come into play. So, are the Eagles legit? Let's just start with that question. Are the Eagles legit?
I believe so.
Let's
start there. They believe so. That defense that they march out there every Sunday is definitely top tier. And people are talking about the Cowboys and all this. Like, I don't care about that. I'm gonna be honest with you. The Carter pickup, that Carter pickup is looking better and better. And all these NFL teams who didn't want to take a chance on him are gonna pay for that. Him and Davis and Fletcher Cox, when they decide to put him in there, and Grant, like, they're just stacked everywhere defensively. So they make it hard. That team, they gave up 11 points. That's an odd score to have, but
yeah, it was another scoreagami.
So it did.
You know what scoreagami is, right?
No, what is scoreagami?
So scoreagami happens when there is a new, unique score that has never happened before in the NFL. So 25-11 yesterday was scoreagami. 70 to whatever the Broncos put up was a scoreagami as well.
70-20.
70-20 is now a football scoreagami.
Damn, they could have got 30, it would be 70-30, and that would have been the new go around.
Anyway.
This is the worst. But yeah, the Eagles are for real. They got dudes. They're gonna settle in the more the season goes on. Jalen's gonna get more comfortable, and his timing seems to be off right now with his receivers.
NFL record people. So here's the thing, and they've been calling it the tush push for the last couple of years, but now it has been renamed.
Just for us.
It has been renamed. Do you know what the rename is, sir?
The Jalen Shuffle.
The brotherly shove.
Oh. When you thought it couldn't get any worse.
Oh, no, you knew it could get worse. Because here's the thing. All these teams are saying, we got to get rid of it. It has been around for almost 2 decades, right? I'm pretty sure it came out like 2005 where you can start pushing from a little bit. It's just the Eagles do it so well.
It's probably came out with Cam Newton. And
probably.
CJ can attest to this. CJ, does that come out? Did Cam Newton used to do the brotherly shove? Let me know.
I love that coming out of your mouth. That was so pretty.
The Panthers push.
No, that sounds like you got to take
Panthers
a poops.
push.
No.
Panthers push.
Again, part of the issue why the Eagles are ranked 4th, even though they're a 3-0 team, part of the reason why they're getting overlooked and people are saying whatever is because is because the Eagles offense isn't sexy. They run the ball 40 times a game.
And Swift is running, man. And
it works. And he should be signed to a big contract. I don't know what the Lions were thinking.
Yeah. They don't want to pay running backs now. So, like,
no one does. And again, you look what happened with Saquon. You look what happened with Chubb. You look at what happened with Dalvin Cook. I mean, you see what these guys, like, it is understandable.
And now Chubb is actually hurt.
But you have the best offensive line in football. That's got to mean for something.
I mean, it's something to be said when that dude was going 7-8 yards without getting touched. And if you're a good running back,
I could have gained yards.
The guy said that he's opening up holes like these buses could fit through.
Right? Why do other teams don't try it? I don't get it. Other teams do try it. They do not do it successfully. We have figured out the best way to do it. They try it, but we do it better.
And guess what? Wentz used to do it too. Back in the day, Wentz used to do it, and Nick Foles did it. So it's not just a thing. It's a Eagles thing. It's not a Jalen thing. It's not it's an Eagles thing. They got the best offensive line. That's what they're doing.
I mean, this Eagles team is doing a lot of big things, but it's the defense. The defense is sexy, right? That defensive line is sexy.
Listen, the defense is stacked. They got some dudes everywhere, and you know, they were talking about the Cowboys the first week, and now it's like that's died down since now they lost Trayvon Diggs. And I'm like, I don't think he mattered that much to begin with, but whatever. No. He's always out of position. He's always getting burnt. He's always getting toasted and roasted. So, I mean, at the end of the day, like, I think it's the Eagles conference to lose this time for sure.
The conference, exactly. Yeah, because I don't think Brock Purdy is going to have enough by the time the end of the season rolls around, whereas the Eagles are just stacked and loaded the whole way.
And I'll say this about Brock Purdy. Eventually, him being Mr. Irrelevant is going to wear off, and he's going to have to prove it. They're going to catch on because to me, he doesn't seem all that skilled. He's got some different things, but he's not he doesn't have multifaceted. So you're leaning a lot on CMC. You're going to be leaning a lot on Debo Samuel. So he's going to be doing a lot of leaning. And Brandon Ayuk, I think that was a super fluke. So
Yeah,
he hasn't performed like that since game one. So it is what it is.
So I'm very excited to continue watching the Eagles just kind of do what they're doing.
The Eagles.
The Eagles. Oh, my other favorite new segment.
Father and son.
Father or son. So it's where I give you two peoples or more in some situations, and you tell me who's going to have the best career out of them.
All right, let's do this.
Okay, so I got three for you. No, I got three for you. Yeah, all football. Number one, pick a Manning, any Manning.
Dang, bro. Holy
First
crap.
off, literally the whitest family I've ever seen.
Yeah, but I thought the two on the side, on this side, on the other side were the same person at first. But I realized that's not the non-known brother.
That's Cooper Manning.
Whatever.
Cooper, Eli, Peyton, Archie, or Arch.
Why are you throwing Archie in there?
Archie or Arch?
Archie, because Archie's the little one, right?
No, Arch is the little one.
All right, Arch. I don't think Arch is going to do anything. I think he's pretty much. Is he playing right now?
In Texas.
Is he playing right now?
No. Cam Ewers is still the guy there, right?
Yeah. So no, I think it's going to be Peyton. I think Peyton's going to go down as the best.
And I tend to agree. I mean, if you look at quarterback play, and I've gone on record saying this, I think that Peyton Manning is the best true quarterback to ever play the game.
Cooper can't even be involved in it because he was a receiver. So we got to take him all the way out.
He makes I didn't say anything about positions, though.
No, but he's the best. Like, he's not even a good receiver. Like, he's their brother. They just say
his commercials are okay.
He's definitely funny, but he's the one that they'd be like, "Which one are you?" And he says, "Which one?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm the funny one." And he was like, "No, That's Eli."
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think that this one's actually pretty easy. I mean, Peyton Manning is going to go down as one of, if not the best quarterback to ever play the game. And again, I'm not talking about winning Super Bowls when we're going to get into the Tom Brady and the Drew Brees of it all, and eventually the Patrick Mahomes. But again, this all-time forehead too. CJ, last week or a couple weeks ago, I had a picture of his college photo, and then for every audible that he called, his brain got bigger, and now it looks like his forehead looks like this. It's crazy, man.
I want him to go bald so he can look like a cone head.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
He'll only be right.
Asante Samuel or Asante Samuel Jr.?
I do like Asante Samuel, the original. But if I got to go with trajectory, I think the baby boy is going to have a better trajectory because he's already kind of making a name for himself.
I'm going to be honest on this one. I do not know. Once the Eagles did not get Asante Samuel Jr., I kind of tuned him off when he went out to the West Coast. So I have not paid him as much mind. I do think that Asante Samuel is one of those guys that was a lockdown top tier corner in his time. Those like first name kind of guys.
I mean, I'll give you that, but I'm just thinking his son's already making some splash. Like I said, we just don't see him because he's on the West Coast. But
right.
If you talk about best corners over there on that side, then he's definitely like that.
All right. And then my personal favorite, Jeremiah Trotter or Jeremiah Trotter Jr.
Listen.
And this one has to hurt you a little bit because I picked a Clemson kid.
No, it doesn't hurt me at all because I'm going to go with the Pops because I do like Trotter Jr., but his dad was a damn menace. Like, he was a menace to society, and he had bad intentions, and he was the last time that they had a legit linebacker in Philly. So I'm going to go with the Trotter Sr. because he is, to me, when I think about linebacker in Philadelphia Eagles history, I think about him, and, it's not even close.
Jeremiah Trotter is one of my top 3 or 4 all-time favorite Philadelphia Eagles. He taught me what defense was. This guy wreaked havoc. When he went over to the Redskins, it crushed me. And then he came back, and his return tour wasn't as great. He probably stayed in the league just a little too long. But the original Jeremiah Trotter,
he was like that.
It was disgusting what he could do on a football field.
Yeah, you throw out some of the best linebackers in his day, especially in his prime. He's definitely up there with some of the top ones. And, because I think he was around the time with like Brian Urlacher and all those weirdos.
I think it was a little bit before.
Before Brian Urlacher?
There may have been like a slight overlap, but Trotter was already playing in the late 90s.
Facts. But yeah, I'm going with OG Trotter. I do like Little Trotter, but Little Trotter's got some work to do. Plus,
I like that Little Trotter broke out Big Trotter celebration on Saturday.
I know, I did like it. We just still took an L, so
yeah, y'all took an L because Debo can't coach.
Debo,
not Debo, Dabo.
Dabo is like they got some other internal issues with like the running backs coach. Like CJ's like beefing with his running backs or something.
Speaking of internal issues.
They should be called the Dallas congestion, because they always got some stuff stuck up there.
So again, you have to look at the wheel of the Cowboys season, because it's probably the only thing in Texas that's good for the environment, because they recycle this wheel every year. So first off, it's we dem boys this our year. Then they blow out a couple really bad teams. Then they have a really bad loss to somebody that they shouldn't lose to. Then they implode in December, and then they get eliminated from the playoffs. Right now, we're on the you lost a game that you shouldn't have lost.
We them boys.
We them boys. What is their excuse? Well, Trayvon Diggs, man.
We them boys.
Trayvon Diggs. We went out and got Stephon Gilmore to balance out Trayvon Diggs, so there would be coverage on both sides. And then Trayvon got hurt, so we weren't able to cover anybody. You got beat by Joshua Dobbs.
Josh Dobbs murked them boys.
And you know what he didn't beat them by? He did not beat them by a hair. He beat them significantly.
And he did it with his legs.
I made an alopecia joke. I apologize to everybody watching.
Will Smith is coming to smack the shit out of you. Better watch yourself.
He
is coming right
the
down.
fact that they lost to the Cardinals. Yeah, I thought that the DATCOM was so telling. The whole media had us at a different level, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, they're trying to navigate it to an underdog story.
They're not an underdog.
They're not an underdog. They're too busy hyping themselves up. And that team will never be successful as long as Mike McCarthy is the head coach, as long as Jerry Jones is the owner.
Jerry Jones is the best owner in league history.
For the Philadelphia Eagles, absolutely. JB Brown, I was watching. I'm guessing that the shocked face was for the alopecia comment, and I apologize. I'm hoping.
JB did that. Wow, that's crazy.
I don't know. I'm not sure who did this shocked face. Oh, yeah, it was JB Brown.
Yep, shocked face. He's very shocked by that.
Again, that joke was totally wrong, and I apologize.
It should be. I'm telling you, Will Smith is going to come and slap you. He's waiting in the wings. He's going to move Tila out of the way and going to come slap you until keep my wife's name out your mouth.
Yes, keep the Arizona Cardinals quarterback name out. I mean, I think that the Cowboys, once again, they're not a good team. They let Ezekiel Elliott go, which was the right call because Tony Pollard is the right guy. But again, their offensive line got worse. Their defense, they are relying on Micah Parsons to do things. They didn't replace Dalton Schultz. Dak Prescott now has Trey Lance in his rearview mirror, and he's pissed off about that. You didn't replace Amari Cooper from last year.
Trey Lance ain't the guy anyway. So, I mean, he's not.
No kidding. No kidding. But you know Jerry Jones always likes the newer model.
Listen, I'm going to be honest with you, but he's not the newer model of.
I'm aware.
That dude's trash can juice.
And keep talking about the Cowboys like they've been doing. It'll keep them busy thinking about that, and they'll implode like always. Yeah, it's on the recycle cycle.
I like when they get them all hyped up and then they fall apart. There's like some Cowboys fans who like don't know what to do with their hands, so they're like.
Again, I just think that the Cowboys are not them boys.
They are.
And a couple of years ago, I bought into it a little bit. I'm like, oh, you know what? I feel like this could be the Cowboys year, and then it wasn't.
No. What it is they are those boys. They're the screw up boys or the blow up boys. They choke boys. What's the one with Reggie Miller? And he's like, yeah, the Reggie Millers, the Dallas Reggie Millers. That's what they are.
Fantastic. I thoroughly enjoyed watching that game.
I thoroughly enjoy any time the Cowboys get beat.
Anytime. Ooh, it's shenanigans.
Shenanigans, baby.
Shenanigans.
We call it shenanigans here, shenanigans for short, because it's too long to get the whole thing out.
They are the media boys. They want them to be that team so bad. Yep, absolutely. All right, shenanigan number one.
Let's do it. I'm ready. Ooh,
Shannon Sharp says about
we gotta
Kwame Brown. He's on the Mount Rushmore of bust NBA players. There is no question. Kwame Brown bounces back with, you a guest in this house of basketball talk. How are you going to try and invalidate a man who was the number 1 draft pick? I would watch this fight all day.
Well, Shannon Sharp is built like a brick crap house, and Kwame Brown wasn't even good at the sport that he's actually built to play. So, yeah.
But who's right?
Who's right? I can't see the beginning because you got the thing up there.
Shannon Sharp says he's on the Mount Rushmore of bust NBA players. There is no question.
Oh, yeah, for sure. If I gotta put them on there, is
I was about to say, give me the Mount Rushmore of busts.
I would if I had to just name them off right now.
Yeah, best off the top of your head. I think Kwame's up there for sure.
He's got to be number 1 because he was the number 1 pick. Like that's not a lot of.
I got another one for you right away.
Markelle Fultz.
No, I don't go Markelle Fultz. I think he's still playing. He's still trying to do some things. I go Greg Oden.
Greg Oden got hurt as well, so I'll take Greg Oden.
Greg Oden's got to be on there.
But look at it, they're all big guys. Do you put
Ben Simmons? Would you
put Ben Simmons on there?
I would put Ben Simmons on there. Recency bias.
I don't think Ben Simmons goes on there. I think you put.
I think that they're currently making his face on there.
What's the other guy that went to the Sixers in the top round and he was trash can juice?
Jahlil Okafor.
Jahlil Okafor is definitely on there. So it's him, Jahlil Okafor, Greg Oden, and then probably Markelle Fultz. Anybody that the Sixers drafted during the process is on there.
Yeah. I mean, look, I would love CJ to give Greg Oden a pass on injuries, but the fact of the matter is he was a 75-year-old man coming out of college. I can't.
He been LeBron James' daddy the whole time. Like we was looking for his daddy. That's where he was. That's why he couldn't be there for him as a child because they were growing up together.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could. We're definitely playing the recency bias game. We're looking at the most recent ones. I think if I gave you a little bit more time on this, we could go through and really find some guys. Wow. I'm not going to read this one out loud.
The example of black does crack. I mean, technically, in theory, he's not wrong because Greg Oden was a 75-year-old man. He's Benjamin Button,
who could not button a button.
Who also didn't do the Benjamin Button thing. He didn't go back in his age. But I will say this, and I'm gonna let it go at this point. If we're being completely honest, there's some guys I guess if you had to do bust, but it's a sad bust, but it's Len Bias. He never did play a game in the NBA and was taken higher than Michael Jordan. So I mean, you got some guys like that. I mean, that's not a good bust. He's one of the busts I think would be for the league because he was never able to live up to his potential because he passed away, unfortunately.
Right. And I think we do need to do that one time. Like we got to actually go through and see like NBA, NFL. Like we'll do that as a section one day too. We're going to talk about this, but this just killed me. This is top tier memery.
That is pretty much comedy right there.
We're going to talk about that. And that's one of our last couple segments. Again, we've talked about this before. You don't need to read all that, but basically a Native American Guardian Association, so a Native American group, is suing the Washington Commanders organization to get them to rename the team the Redskins.
Why are they doing this?
The logo on the Redskins helmet is an actual person. It's Chief Whitecalf. Every time they go out on the field, they were honoring Chief Whitecalf, and they were battling on the football field with the same honor and integrity and courage. They should continue to honor that.
So who made them change the name? Was it some type of like Native American organization or was it literally?
It literally was some Native American organizations that were saying, the Chiefs is a bad name. The Seminoles is a bad name. The Indians is a bad. Like Cleveland's baseball team went from the Indians to the Guardian. The Chiefs are never going to change. The Seminoles are never going to change. The Redskins is a slang term for a Native American.
That's like calling somebody the New York N-words. Like if we're being honest.
Exactly. And now they are the Native American Guardian Association is suing the organization to get them to be called the Redskins again.
They can sue all they want. They're not going to win. It's not going to hold up. Sorry, but
in a court of law,
it's not going to hold up anywhere. Nobody they're a bad team.
Definitely not the court of public opinion.
Yeah, you can't say the Redskins. Like you can't call somebody a Redskin. Like you can't call somebody like the WB word for them either.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's like they'll be like somebody calling them the Washington WBs. You know what I'm saying? They'd be messed up. You go down for that.
All right, play a little game. It's called Build a Secondary. You get to have 2 safeties and 3 corners.
Oh, my corners on.
I know mine. I know mine.
I'm gonna go Dion,
Mm-hmm.
Champ Bailey,
Mm-hmm.
and Charles Woodson. Safety, I'm gonna go Brian Dawkins and Troy Polamalu.
Well, that was a fun game we played because those are my exact picks.
That's easy. Now, only way I would switch it up is if Ed Reed, if like I couldn't get Troy Polamalu, I would get Ed Reed and Brian Dawkins. But Brian Dawkins is my number 1 guy.
And it's funny when they did the NFL 100, they picked Ed Reed over Brian Dawkins,
which is weird as heck. But I mean, Brian Dawkins is probably one of the best, and he played at Clemson, so I love him even more than. And he played for the Eagles, so it's like a win-win for me. And I love Troy Polamalu's hair, so like I'm always gonna rock with Troy Polamalu. I
love that he's still making commercials.
Okay, let me just tell you, how do you feel about Ryan Clark as a football player?
I feel like he wasn't much of a football player. I feel like he was okay. I think that he is trying to make more of a money on the commentary.
He's a great commentator, by the way.
He's a phenomenal commentator, is my point. And almost to the point of you forget. Again, I know he was a Steeler, but almost to the point where you forget that he was a football player.
When I saw him hit that guy that one time, and he the Ryan Clark hit will always go down in my mind as like one of the best hits I've ever seen in my life. Like, and I would never be able to unsee that. And I think Ryan Clark was good, but yeah, I'm kind of Ryan Clark was a good football player, but I think he's a better commentator for sure.
Yeah, and that's okay. That's okay that's your thing.
I did say
again.
We said he's
very solid. I agree, very solid. But it's almost to the point you forget that he was a football player when you know how much he's been commentating.
Because he's such this is my thing with Ryan Clark. Ryan Clark is a guy, he's woke, but he's not too woke. And he's
Willis McGahee. That's right. He killed a guy from Miami.
It was Willis McGahee spelt wrong that he hit. Oh yeah, he did hit Willis McGahee. That was a good hit. That was one of the best hits of all time. He didn't kill a guy though. I mean, he didn't physically kill him. He just hit him hard.
I know. It's a statement.
I feel like I need to get that on my my screensaver or something. I need to go back to the glory days and really show some light.
Listen, mine for the longest time was Sheldon Brown making Reggie Bush crawl back to the sideline. So
that was a good one too.
Love that hit.
Are they ever going to give Reggie Bush his Heisman back?
They need to. Whoever painted the Jets end zone didn't do the greatest job. There were white footprints all over the place, and that was the last member of the Jets organization that visited the end zone. They were not cleared for takeoff.
It's a no-fly zone over there.
It's a no-fly zone over there, as long as Zach Wilson's a quarterback. Which brings me to this, because there's a lot of conversation about the Bears and the fact that, unfortunately, Justin Fields is a great quarterback, but in 1904, they created the forward pass. So that's a problem.
So there's that. He wouldn't help either one of those teams. He wouldn't help either one of those.
Would you make this trade? The Jets get Justin Fields.
No.
The Bears get Zach Wilson, a 2nd-round pick, and a 5th-round pick.
No, because the Bears would lose that trade. Terrible. They both got terrible quarterbacks. Why would you do a switcheroo for either one of them? They both stink.
So I would like to once again point out that Justin Fields is an Ohio State quarterback.
He is an Ohio State quarterback. Take that.
And there is still, yet to this day, has been a good one.
They're yet to produce a good quarterback in the NFL. Yes,
they haven't.
It's been trash the whole time. That's from my Ohio State people, the people who are happy that they beat Notre Dame.
And Javier and CJ are just going back and forth at this point and making our show try to get canceled is what's happening.
He is good at picking up cougars, though. I mean, he is. Like if you put him in a bar full of older ladies, he's leaving with at least 2 or 3 of them.
Ladies of the early night.
Nah, he's leaving with ladies, but it all depends.
Wow. Wow, we're bad people.
It just all depends on
We are. Bad.
It catches
GP.
all the wetness that could be.
Jesus Christ. I don't think I took that one off. So if it comes up again, we can't shenan again. All right, real quick, MLB playoff preview. I'm not going to do very much with this. The Phillies clinched. The Cubs lost as well, which means the Phillies have a number 1 wild card seed. The Braves are in. The Phillies have a chance here to go a long way because of the fact of they are hitting at all the right spots. What's going to hold them down is their pitching. I would like to see, not even the bullpen, the starting pitching. Aaron Nola is really good up until he's not. And that's going to be a conversation for the offseason, which is, when everyone's trying to force us to re-sign Aaron Nola, who I've gone on record as saying is consistently inconsistent, and that's the best way to describe him. But I am excited for playoff baseball. I'm excited that the Phillies clinched. I'm excited that we can kind of take it easy for the next couple of days, rest some players, and, turn it into Red October yet again. You're going to follow the Phillies at all?
I'm going to follow the Phillies, and I'm going to follow Atlanta. I'm so close to
they're going to come head to head. It's going to happen.
Yeah, when I'm being so close to Atlanta and South Carolina, they cover a lot of games. I catch a lot of that stuff, so I'll probably be watching pretty heavy. And they're the last 2 teams from around here that have gotten to the big dance. So I'm hoping that one of those teams makes it.
Yeah, and Javier's saying he'd be really disappointed if they resign him. And here's my issue. He does such a good job at padding stats. So tonight he got his 200th strikeout of the season. He has 5 seasons now where he has 200 strikeouts. And he's him and Steve Carlton are the only 2 who have done it 5 or more times in the Phillies organization. So numbers wise, he's there. He doesn't pass the consistency eye test. Aaron Nola is good for an inning where he's going to implode. Where the problem comes in with Nola is he is going to be the top free agent pitcher on the market this offseason because of the Shohei Ohtani injury.
Yeah, and he's not going to pitch for about a year.
He's not going to pitch for about a year. So Aaron Nola, who is an innings eater, 100%, because he doesn't have very high velocity stuff. He's got good breaking ball. He's never really spent any time on the DL, which is phenomenal. He's going to get paid, I'm going to guess, by like the Cardinals or the Dodgers or somebody else, a lot of money. If the Phillies try to go toe-to-toe there and pay him that money.
Wants to be here. They just got to hope he wants to be here.
I don't want him here. I think the issue with Aaron Nola is he has reached his ceiling of what he can be in Philadelphia.
My question for you is, though, at the end of the day, is like, it's the devil though.
Absolutely. So
it's like, what you're going to get. Like, you don't know. Like, our farm system sucks. We're not getting anybody in the bullpen out of the farm system. You don't have an ace for real. But he's not even, Aaron Nola's not even the ace. Zach Wheeler is the ace of this team. So in my mind, in a perfect situation, you have Zach Wheeler, you have Taijuan Walker. There's your 1 and 2. You've got Ranger Suarez. You've got Christopher Sanchez, who's been pitching pretty damn well. Then you can pick up a 4th or 5th guy. You say that until
you also have Mick Abel ready to come up. You've got the other dude ready to come up on says, you've got guys.
Chip, what I'm trying to get you to understand is you guys
need is a $200 million pitcher.
You need a pitcher that you do need somebody, because that's been the problem with the Phillies for so long, is that the bullpen has been an issue. Like, we can all point back to, as long as we can talk about the Phillies, is that they've always had an issue with the bullpen. Get you somebody that you can. They haven't had a real pitcher since Holiday, in Roy Holiday, and I think that was in the early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, there's been at least almost 15 to 20 years where they haven't had a decent bullpen. If they got a decent bullpen, this will be a scary team to play against.
But it's not. Here's the thing: you can get away without a incredible lights out bullpen if you have incredible lights out starting pitching.
Right,
you can.
But you have to find that guy, and I don't
it's
think
not
it's
Aaron Nola.
It's not Wheeler either, though.
I understand that, but given who's going to take the ball game 1, if you have it, give me a choice between Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola. It's Zach Wheeler twice in a doubleheader and 3 times on Sunday.
Okay, I understand what you're saying, but there is a reason that the market is going to be going for Nola. He's not a trash player. He's not,
but he is at best a number 3 pitcher on this roster.
Right. But it's only because he's the devil that you know.
But asking for number 1 money.
He's going to get it.
from somebody else. And that's what Javier's saying here. We know we're going to have from him. The scary thing to keep him is how much we'd have to pay for him. If we end up paying him in the range of 230 million, which is what he wants, and he can get from somebody else. Like if he would say, you know what, give me a 3-year deal, 20 million a year. Fine.
Pitching is hard to come by, Chip. That's the point. And that's why the market is going to be set with him, because the pitching is hard to come by.
I don't want to be a part of the market. Let him go.
You ain't got no choice. I'm telling you. It's not going to be up to you. Somebody's going to take him.
Somebody can take him. It just can't be the Phillies.
It's going to be the Phillies.
No, it's not.
Love the one you're with.
Mark my words, at the hour 11-minute mark here on our episode 926, Aaron Nola will not be a Philadelphia Philly in the 23-24 season.
If he's not a Philly, then I promise you better go get you somebody else, because right now
agreed,
you don't got nobody.
But it can't be Aaron Nola.
Okay, fair enough.
And our final topic is the Miami Dolphins.
70-piece, baby.
Holy hell. So
Chicken McNuggets.
Here's my question. Are the Dolphins that good, or are the Broncos that bad? Because he don't know, Javier.
No,
he don't know. He don't know where I've been. He don't know what I've been through.
I'm not trying to sell you Nola. I'm just telling you, you need to go buy somebody. If you're not going to buy Nola, you need to buy somebody. You have
it's a no-go on Nola.
Listen, it might be a no-fly zone, because that's what's been holding y'all back for the last couple of years is the dang on bullpen. Got all the hitting in the world, no bullpen.
Okay.
Can't end the game.
You, sir.
He said I'm down with that. Look at that.
All right. You, sir. Are the Dolphins that good?
Mm-hmm.
Or are the Broncos that bad?
I think it's a mixture of both. I think the Dolphins have one of the most high-power offenses in the NFL. They got dudes and speed all over the place. Like I said, there was a thing I read the other day. They said Mostert is the second fastest player on the team, and that's behind Cheetah himself, and is right above Jalen Waddle. And they just went out and got a rookie receiver that's just as fast as all three of them. They have speed all over the place, and the only thing they've been waiting on is Tua. Tua just needs to stay healthy.
For me, the fact that Jalen Waddle didn't play was crazy. They hung a 70-piece up
without the second best receiver.
Without the second best receiver on that team. And here's the thing. They could have kept going.
Yeah,
they didn't. They were being respectful. That was nice. And Javier agrees with you. They're as good as Tua's health lets them be. They're as good as his hip, as his back, as his shoulder lets them be.
Listen, but if he keeps doing what he's doing, he's not running into any,
and he's not taking hits.
None, 0 hits. He's just sitting back there, just tall. He's playing backyard football right now. He's all-time quarterback, like when you to play in the backyard with your friends.
Yeah, I did it last week with my 7th graders.
Yeah, ain't nobody touching him.
He's making passes.
He's getting the ball out so quickly, and even on the plays that he's having to hold on to it, he's just throwing it up to Cheetah, and Cheetah's going to get it.
I am incredibly excited for the Eagles-Dolphins matchup in a couple of weeks.
I'm excited as well. The only problem is I'm kind of worried for the Eagles State.
The Broncos are just trash. They thought that a coach was going to be enough. It's not. Sean Payton does not understand this NFL. Sean Payton does not have running backs. He does not have a quarterback. He does not have an offensive line. He does not have a defense, clearly.
They're bad. Javonte Williams, and I thought, and he doesn't even use him.
Jerry Judy's over there going, somebody throw me the ball. Somebody throw me the damn ball.
They're going to put Sierra in before the end of the season.
Why not? She can at least take him 1-2 step. Did you see the interview with Broncos lineman Garrett Bowles?
No, I don't think I want to see it.
So this is after getting hung a 70-piece.
Damn Chip. That was him.
Right now, what are the emotions like going through your head personally?
Shit. Shit. It's tired of losing, man. I've been here for 7 years and all I've done is loss. And it's frustrating.
Damn.
Do you think that Sean Payton survives the season?
I don't think he survives. I don't think Roy. I don't think Russ busts. I think he's going to go into retirement. It's going to be retirement Russ. I got one of my best friends on my coaching staff is Coach Life, and he loves diehard Broncos fan, and it's been really rough. He's checking the score every weekend, and he's at practice, and there's never any good news to tell him, man. He's really going through it, man. So for his sake, I think they should do something.
That Dolphins scored more points on Sunday than the Broncos have scored in the first
All
3
season.
weeks.
Yep, it's rough, and it's not gonna get any better because they got Russ, and they paid Russ all that money. Only thing they
paid Russ and Sean Payton all that money.
Only thing they can do now is tank for one of the quarterbacks in the draft right now, and then hopefully, they can bench. They can buy a couple years from Russ just being bad and get some more draft picks, and then put that guy in when it's time to play and win. Basically, what the Arizona Cardinals were trying to do but didn't do because they're actually winning. So.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. Unfortunately, I think that it's definitely not getting any better. So
it's gonna be the Russ bus.
It's gonna be the Russ bus. All right, JD, you got anything popping off this week? Tell the people.
Nah, I'm just chilling.
Yeah, cool. We've got a Eagles preview show tomorrow night, 9:00. I got a couple of baseball games coming up. They are definitely not a quarterback away. They are deep in a hole, man. Oh my gosh, so much.
That's rough.
I'm here for it.
Thank you to everybody who chimed in. CJ Javier.
Great comments. CJ Javier, Adam. Shout out to the missus for popping on the screen for a minute or two, gracing us with her presence.
Tila was the GOAT.
Both
shout out to the
Adam.
Shout out to the Swifties. Shout out to the Swifties right now. You are the real MVP, Swifties. Keep it up. You're making the NFL worth going. And shout out to Usher for possibly giving someone herpes before.
Shout out to Usher for being a true player for real.
That's my brothers for real.
I'm Chip.
I'm Drip.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.